9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Backed by popular demand, the first Ghost-orama of 2023 is happening Saturday, June 3rd at the Eden Springs Park, 793 M139 in Benton Harbor, Michigan. There'll be paranormal groups, Ghostbusters, spooky vendors, live local bands, an after-hours ghost tour, a killer car show, food trucks, disc jockey, and much, much more. It's all happening June 3rd, 2023 at Eden Springs Park at 793 M139 in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Check out the free outdoor market from 1 to 7 and the after-hours ghost tour from 9 to 11 p.m. From the legendary Sea of David religious encampment. It's all happening June 3rd, 2023 at Eden Springs Park in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Be there, or, well, you know.
Hey guys and gals, it's your buddy Drew with Living History Mysteries and Three-Eyed Raven Productions. You know, I say this so often that I know you guys have come to expect it. While researching a totally different subject, I ran across something that took me by surprise. And to be honest, I had to check it out.
I've a tender spot in my heart for cripples, bastards, and broken things.
Totally changed my whole theme of what I want to do a video on. You know, so often when it comes to Hollywood movies or television series, we're always saying how they took their own freedoms and made changes to history just to make it a little bit more dramatic and a little bit more flashy for the big screen. But what about when a person actually looks back into history to get ideas for a movie or a book or a television series?
I will not hear it, not for you. I will not hear it!
A television series that ran for 8 seasons, 8 years, gained over 1 billion followers. And these billion followers didn't realize they were getting a history lesson, though altered a bit, but still a pretty accurate history lesson, and never knew it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I've got kingly things to do. Check this out. Pretty interesting.
TV series rise and fall just like empires. Yet the fall of Game of Thrones was of biblical proportions, from being odds on to being the greatest TV series ever made, to then finishing with that last series. If we put that nightmarish final season to one side for a minute, however, and refrain from opening old wounds and pouring lemon juice inside, the world that George R.R. Martin created was nothing short of genius, with all sorts of historical realities inspiring the world and the plot. Martin has previously discussed how the ancient Persian religion of Zoroastrianism, with its fascination with fire, the Wars of Roses and the 100 Years' War, were all notable historical inspirations for Game of Thrones. Today, however, I want to focus on the role that Scottish history played in inspiring the world and the plot. Martin, who is currently involved in creating a HBO prequel called The House of the Dragon, said in an interview with Brown University Library that Scotland has a lot of incredibly bloody history from which he draws inspiration from. More specifically, Martin revealed that the Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones, where many prominent characters were deceitfully murdered, was directly inspired by two bloody Scottish events: the Black Dinner of 1440 AD and the Glencoe Massacre of 1692. The Black Dinner refers to when the young 16-year-old Earl of the Douglas clan, William Douglas, along with his younger brother, were invited to dinner at Edinburgh Castle by three powerful political figures, including William Crichton, the Lord Chancellor of Scotland, who surrounded the young 10-year-old King of Scotland at the time, James II. The story goes that during dinner, when the boys were eating, a black bull's head, which symbolised death, was placed before the young William Douglas and his party. Shortly after, William Douglas and his younger brother were taken outside to Castle Hill, given a brief mock trial, and then beheaded. In response, the powerful Douglas clan laid siege to Edinburgh Castle. The Glencoe Massacre took place over 250 years later, in 1692, when members of Clan MacDonald of Glencoe were brutally killed by the Scottish government. Around 35 members of the clan were killed, many of whom were asleep at the time, with the chief, 2 women and 2 children among the dead. They were apparently killed for not swearing allegiance, or not fast enough anyway, to the royals of Scotland, England and Ireland, William III, also known as William of Orange, and Mary II, who had come to power in 1689, 3 years earlier, after the Glorious Revolution. The incident was apparently meant to send a message to other clans. Another Scottish inspiration for Game of Thrones was Hadrian's Wall, which was built by the Romans thousands of years ago in northern England, close to the modern Scottish-English border. The wall helped to provide a barrier between Roman Britannia and the pre-Scottish peoples of the north, such as the Caledonians and later the Picts. In the world created by Martin, the giant wall of ice and magic separates the 7 kingdoms from those north of the wall. The wall was guarded by the Night's Watch, a brotherhood sworn to protect the 7 kingdoms from the northern barbarians. The northern section of the 7 kingdoms that is controlled for large periods by the House of Stark is also potentially inspired by Scotland. What other connections between history and Game of Thrones do you find interesting? Please let me know in the comments below.
smell the shit from 5 miles away.
Welcome back, guys. You know, it's like I said in the beginning. So many times we criticize movies and television shows for taking accurate history and twisting it around to make it more dramatic or more viewable.
Let me give you some advice, bastard. Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor. And it can never be used to hurt you.
But to take actual points of history, tweak them just a hair, and use those as a basic for your book or for a movie or for a TV series is totally different. George R.R. Martin was a genius looking back in history for bases for his Song of Ice and Fire series, and then later for Game of Thrones. He did a great job telling the story, and well, needless to say, it became not only the top grossing book series in history, but Game of Thrones became the top viewed television series in history. For 8 seasons straight, almost 1 billion people tuned in each and every week to find out what Cersei was going to do next, or find out what Daenerys was going to do with her dragons, or find out what was happening with Jon Snow, or Arya and the Hound. My wife has never been in to fantasy or sci-fi before.
We always want the wrong woman.
But I'll tell you what, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon are 2 of her favorite shows, and she never misses an episode. It blows me away that even today, in 2023 that the concept of using real history for something like this was able to slip a little bit of a history lesson into a billion eyes every week.
Does he always talk so much?
That's what we do here, guys. We take those stories from history and we try to make them a little bit more interesting by telling the true story and bringing it to you. And we're growing, we're blowing up. Here we are, the middle of February. We've been at it a year and 2 months. And we're about to break 1,000, and the comments couldn't be better. I'm still guesting on other live streams. I'm still getting guests for our own live streams when they're not too busy with their own. Everybody loves us, and we love you too, and we really appreciate the growth and the positive feedback. Means a lot. But that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. And we'll see you out there. Don't get too close. Told you.